Just for the record, I believe our chairman sent a
I need help. So I'm calling the meeting to order. It is 12:15 on Friday, November 15th. On the agenda, our first, we need to do a roll call. Shannon,
Robert Jack, present.
chairperson Christopher Cruz. Sir, we can get validation.
Yeah, I'm present.
Thank you, sir. And Vice Chairwoman Meg Takenko.
Present.
Thank you.
Online.
okay.
And Madam Chair, or Interim Chair, we do have notice from Commissioners Leon Guerrero and Borja that they're unavailable to attend. If we could get a motion to excuse members not present.
Motion to excuse members not present. Aye. Passes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Also to report, 4 members present, we do have a quorum.
All right. So now we're going to look at the minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look those over? From August 30th was our last meeting. Take a minute. All right. The minutes are approved. Okay, next we're going to do the executive.
In 2024 and transactions are accurately documented and aligned with our continues to work with those vendors and DOA to have those officially closed. And we're confident that we're going to be able to achieve reporting accuracy before the conclusion of that period. The next update is concerning a community presentation on ethics. So I'm very excited to report that our commission staff participated in another community presentation at the Guam Coalition Against Sexual Assault and Family Violence annual conference. So Ruben Bagaran and Pamela Mabaza had the pleasure of engaging with the conference attendees during a breakout session titled Ethics in Government. I know originally it started to be a breakout session, ended up becoming a conference-wide presentation in which they were able to talk about the work of the commission, the number of cases we've seen, what are the, I guess, suppose the top 3 types of cases that the commission is hearing. We do have photos that we can share with the commissioners. It was a really great session, and I'm really proud that the 2 were able to do that on behalf of our organization.
Good job.
The third item is on our ethics website. So we've successfully incorporated the ethics.guam.gov domain, and that now redirects to our current webpage, theguamethics.com. That transition was seamless. We don't have any issues with missing links or rearranged information displays.
That's supposed to make it easier to find online.
Correct, yeah. And also, I think when we can reference the .gov domain, then the person receiving that information will know that it's a verified government entity that they're dealing with. The next item is regarding our establishing of the FY 2025 accounts. So as of October 1st, our appropriation accounts have been successfully activated. Furthermore, all account subcategories have been fully allotted. That means our entire budget that had been appropriated by the legislature is now available to the commission, marking a significant step forward in our financial planning this upcoming fiscal period.
I don't.
I'm gonna just request, do I have admin status on Zoom? The next item is concerning the new FMIS purchase order access. I'm very excited to share that DOA approved our request to be granted a procurement manager status within the new FMIS. This status is, I believe, one of one in the government of Guam. We had petitioned DOA to grant the commission an opportunity to key in our requisitions, our purchase orders. The practice that existed before was that after we completed our entire procurement process, we would package and then transmit to DOA, and then DOA Division of Accounts would have to enter, key in, review, and approve. So there was that additional delay, and then due to the number of agencies that had to share their purchases with DOA, there was a backlog. And so our particular issue was we had late payments to existing contracts like our rent or as a copier machine. And we found that if they had just granted the commission access to enter in the information and at least eliminate a lot of the primary bottleneck, then DOA would just have the position to review what was keyed in, approve, and then everything be registered. It took some time, and I wrote to the chief financial officer. This was approved by DOA director, and we've had this access starting October 1st. So we have about 8 requisitions that meant we were able to sustain our current contracts and have all of those encumbered in this new fiscal year period. And hopefully, through this practice, we've promoted that it could serve as a sort of like a model for other entities that are like ethics to have that similar access and now eliminate the level of work that accountants have to deal with on a given day.
Really relieve their.
Yes, yes. You know, and if we already done the work in accordance with procurement law to package a requisition, solicit the quotes, put out all the determination of needs, it only made sense that we'd be able to key in this information, and DOA would still have that ability to review to ensure that it conforms with the law and wouldn't remove that from them. So, yeah, we did. Correct. And so that added to the willingness to support the request was, we've completed all the procurement modules, so we have our certifications, we have signed request forms for audit purposes. So I think we're very pleased that they were able to give us that access. Okay. The next is on the ethics training compliance report. So as you know, in 4 GCA Chapter 15, in addition to requiring agencies attend an ethics training, or employees rather, there is a further requirement that agencies would have to prepare an ethics training compliance report. And for the last 3 years, we've received 100% compliance. So today I'm pleased to report that again this year, we received another 100% compliance rate. And I do want to commend the commission staff. They disseminated a reminder notice to each of the respective agencies and worked with them diligently to ensure that they had a submission in on time by the stated deadline. I do also wish to note that there are a number of reports that are required for all agencies to prepare on an annual basis, and almost all reports have a varying level of compliance. Ethics training compliance report remains probably the only report that receives 100% compliance by all entities of the government of Guam. Yes. So we're very excited for that. I do hear that might be a topic for audit, so we'll see. I'll give an update or report if that becomes formalized.
Didn't you put in a request for
Yes,
an
yes.
audit, just to make sure we're doing all right?
Correct, correct. Um, the next item, if I could continue, is regarding our ethics training update. So you'll see the reflected numbers. So in the month of September, we had a total of 260 officials who completed their training. Last month, October, 183. And we're mid-month November, and our existing number is about 119, and that number will continue up to the end of the month. And then for our FY 2025 budget status, that just to share with you the amounts that have been loaded for the respective object categories. And I'm available for any questions if any commissioner has. And if not, that concludes my director's report.
Thank you, Jesse. All right. We're going to hold off on the closed proceedings because we don't have a full membership board today. So we'll move on to unfinished business. It's a review and approve the advisory opinion AO 24-001. Unfinished business.
Yes.
Is that under old business here?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes.
Okay.
So to give a bit of background, we received an inquiry, a formal request for advisory opinion from an employee that works at the Division of Senior Citizens of the Department of Public Health and Social Services. So to surmise the request, it wished to clarify if employees of that division could solicit prizes and other gifts in support of a particular program. And this request was thrown to our prosecutorial counsel, and the prosecutorial counsel did a thorough review indicated in the meeting drive link, and then prepared a draft order which concluded that according to section 15401A2 of Title IV Guam Code annotated, the Guam Ethics Commission is granted authority to issue advisory opinions, and further that according to Title 10, Section 2112 of the Guam Code annotated, it relates that public health and social services specifically provides that the director is authorized to accept on behalf of the government of Guam gifts, bequests, and donations for welfare purposes, and may expend any sums so received for the purposes set out in this chapter in addition to the regular appropriations made for such purposes. So following that cited section of law, the opinion is to state that no, so long as the solicitation or acceptance of gifts is in accordance with the applicable rules of section 2112. And the draft opinion is presented for the commission's review and action, and should it be approved, it will be transmitted to the employee who furnished this request.
So we're advising that if they can be authorized to solicit and accept gifts for as long as they follow the rules of the law, right, and regulation.
That's correct. And the basis for that interpretation comes again from the section of the Guam Code, which is Title 10, Section 2112, that relates to the Department of Public Health and Social Services. It grants them a unique exemption if it relates to a public welfare program.
They'll report about what they received and how it's distributed.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. We need a motion to approve this?
That's correct, Madam Chair. We need a motion to approve the advisory opinion. The number is AO 24-001.
And I second that. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Megan, Chris, are they there? Yeah. If there's no opposed, then that passes.
Sorry,
Aye, thank you. Okay. $20 for t-shirts, huh? No need to buy all these things.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay.
And that concludes the item under unfinished business. Under new business, item A, I'd like to request that we table this. We do require a vote of 5 members at minimum in order to adopt or issue an order. So seeing that 4 members are present, it would be to table item A and proceed to item B.
Okay. Oh, go to B.
Correct.
Okay, so that's review and approve the ethics and government program training fee for fiscal year 2025.
Yes. So, thank you, Madam Chair. If I may, I'd just like to share that reflecting on the fiscal year 2025 budget request amount and what was approved and appropriated by the Guam legislature, similar to FY 2024, the Ethics Commission received its full budget request. And as such, I would like to petition the Commission's consideration that we continue and extend the waiver of the ethics training fee for the period of FY 2025
For everybody.
for everyone that will need to attend the ethics training, correct?
How many people do you think are going to attend this year? Or
So, because the training is every 4 years, we don't anticipate that there will be a lot of new employees. I would estimate maybe 3,000 officials would need to get training for this particular fiscal year period that we're seeking the waiver.
Okay, as long as we don't need the money, I should be charged, right?
Correct.
Okay. Do we need a motion to approve that?
Yes, Madam Chair, we do need a motion to approve the waiver request.
I'll give a motion to approve the waiver request.
Move.
Okay, it's been moved by Vice Chair Meg and second by Chairman Chris.
Okay, let's call for a vote. Anybody object? Okay, and then it means we all approve, so it's passed.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Commissioners. The second part to this particular item on the agenda was despite the waiver in fiscal year 2024, there was one entity of government of Guam that continued to remit payment to the Ethics Commission, and they've provided us with evidence of such payment being received by the Treasurer of Guam. They've now presented to the Commission a request for refund in the amount of $4,240. Just this morning, there was an additional payment of $640. So the total would be $4,880. That request came in, and the Commission has 2 options. We can either see a credit reflected on the invoice for a future charge, if that charge may come, or the Commission can authorize the staff to continue with the proceedings of issuing a refund to that entity. Either is entirely up to the desire of the Commission, but I did want to present this request.
What would you recommend, sir?
Either is, I apologize. I don't have a particular preference. It really is at the discretion of the Commission. Obviously, the refund would be an entire process, working with Treasurer Guam and seeing how we can remit that payment. But it's not. I don't see it as insurmountable. I think we can achieve that if that's the desire of the Commission.
Have you talked to the agency head about that? I mean, maybe you can see what they want to do. If they want us to keep it for the future, when we do have to charge for more classes, or have a special session or something, or if they'd like the money back.
Right. So based on that conversation and as communicated to us by the accountant, it appears that the agency is requesting for the cash to be returned.
Well, I think that's it. I make a motion to refund them.
I second.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's been moved in second, Madam
Okay.
Chair, to approve the
Does
refund.
anybody object to refunding the cash? No? Okay, then let's, well, are in favor of it, and it passes.
Thank you, Commissioners. The next item on the agenda is a review of the draft fiscal year 2026 budget request. I know it might seem that we just started FY 2025.
You are ahead, yeah.
And again, this is just a review. It's not, no actions required for today, but I did want to present what we have preliminarily set up for the budget request, and then to include any added suggestions by the commission if you wish for any category to be funded further. There were two scenarios that I wish to present today. Budget scenario one is a continuation of status quo operations. That would mean that the existing FTEs
Yeah.
would be provided for. That is one director, two investigators, and the admin assistant, as well as minor adjustments to other object categories. So if you can look on budget scenario one, you'll see that according to the personnel services, we see a modest growth of about 9,800 plus dollars. That would just account for increments for the classified personnel and any adjustments to benefits such as medical and dental deductions. For travel off island, I've included an adjustment for upward to 26,000 so that in the event we do see a full member commission of 7 and they all wish to attend the upcoming annual COGO conference, and that would fully fund all commissioners to attend said conference. We are aware of where the conference location is set to be. It is in Atlanta, so we're able to adjust for the anticipated per diem costs and airfare rates as of today. So that's the draft budget amount. For contractual services, I can get into that in detail, so I'll just pass that preliminary, go into office space rental. There is no change in the office space rental, that's status quo. And then I can direct your attention to Form 96A, which is about 4 pages in, past the staffing pattern.
We don't have that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was in your packet, and it is on the drive link, but I can
Okay.
I can describe for you the changes. So we'll start with contractual services. We do have a continuing of our copier lease. We do have 3 legal contracts. We have our legal counsel, our prosecutorial counsel, and our conflict counsel. Their request to 15,000. And then for video conferencing subscription, we'll see a reduction. We currently pay $2,199, and it'll bring that cost down to $300 because we're going to modify the type of subscription plan that we will subscribe to. The next is for our website maintenance. Our request will be at $6,000 with the current $9,253. So that'll be a reduction of $3,253.
What's the why the reduction is not needed?
Right, we're accounting that this current fiscal year, we can apply the adjustments to the website, and so we wouldn't need to fund it in the next fiscal year. So we're planning to add enhancements to the online ethics training. Those expenses are one and done, they won't be continuous, so once we complete it and expended this budget year, then we wouldn't need to fund it next fiscal year. The social media campaign is reflected as a consistent 5,000, which repeats the FY 2024 budgeted amount. And then our professional membership dues, which includes COGL and ECI, is at 1,055, which is the same as last fiscal year. For supplies and materials, there's a growth of $2,400. We've kept the same budget amount for folders and envelopes. We've increased board meeting supplies in anticipation that anything that the board wishes to procure for, we have a dedicated budget for it. So that's where the growth primarily comes from. Under equipment, there was a request to purchase one new laptop. We're finding out that the RAM space of the existing equipment is not sufficient to maintain the demands of live streaming. So we're hoping that we can buy a laptop that has an adequate amount of RAM space. We're seeing delays in our live streaming because the laptop isn't able to handle all that software. And then for miscellaneous, there is a growth in the meeting advertisements from the original authorized of $5,798 to $10,752. That's an increase of 4,953.
Oh,
Yes, and that's anticipating no change on the current law as it requires printed ads on a newspaper of general circulation. And then if the commission were to meet more frequently, then that would also justify the upward increase for the meeting ad costs.
so right now it's going to just approved.
Correct.
I've been seeing meeting announcements for other, well, legends on TV. I don't know. They're so
Yes.
fast I can't even read them, but
Yes.
yeah, but that's not really me, right?
We can explore, the open government law does allow for TV publication. And I think our team can explore.
Yeah.
For us, I think the challenge is going to be the validation. At least with the printed paper, you can, right, we can represent evidence that we in fact made a notice. Oftentimes when it's on radio or TV, we depend on some type of certification from the provider that they did, publish that. It's a preference thing,
Yeah.
but there are multiple ways that we can comply. Yes, so that's in addition to, yes. And that's, I believe, the new requirement. We wouldn't be allowed to supplant a publication on a newspaper. It'd have to be both. Yeah. Stipends, procurement training, and postage for complaints all remain consistent relating to the current year budget. So if you look again at the total amount for scenario one with the minor adjustments to contractual, we do see that the total budget request is a 4% increase at $587,835 when compared to the existing appropriation of $552,760. And so that 4% again will cover the organic growth of our personnel expenses and then the slight adjustments in our contractual expenses.
Okay, that's scenario one.
Yes. Scenario two is a larger amount. The request is $587,000. This is reflective of a $35,000 increase. This is scenario. I'm sorry. This is scenario one. Scenario two is 600 and yes, 668,953. That is a 21% increase to the budget request. And scenario two, the only change really is funding of that vacant investigator position. So that investigator position comes at a base pay of GPP M1. Let me pull that up. So that position pays $49,731, and then when you add their fringe benefits to include retirement contributions, medical and dental at $31,000, that brings the total funding for that one position at $81,000. So I can share that from my perspective, we can manage operations with the existing workforce.
And you don't have to turn this in
Till January.
January?
Yes.
But you can adjust it later.
Correct. So that's why we're presenting it to the commissioners today to digest and then weigh if there are any particular categories that you see funded at certain levels, if you wish for us to adjust it upward, or if you think there's too much budgeted for that particular object line, then we can make those corrections. Also, if you believe and want to pursue funding this final vacancy, or if you will proceed with maintaining operations at its existing levels. But it is worth noting that we anticipate a new majority in the legislature starting in January and a new budget chairman, and that will come with their set of priorities. It may not be favorable to request for a large increase, I don't think, for the commission. So I leave it up to you to digest this information as it's presented, and then I welcome any feedback or suggestions you might have.
Okay, and then we can talk about it in January?
Correct. We'll probably do one more sitting in December. I'm going to maybe send a separate email to all the commissioners to share. Again, here's our budget documents. And if you have specific amendments that you'd like to see incorporated, we can incorporate that and then represent that in December for a final review before we transmit in January. Okay. Any other questions by the commission with regards to our budget request for FY 2026?
I have one about this monitor here. Can you explain how we're going to fix that?
Sure.
The room, right? To get
Sure.
it power through.
Yes. So again, this was my personal monitor that we're using here, but
Oh,
yes,
my goodness, that was yours?
yes. We aren't able to use it. We've tried even on varying outlets in the room, but it doesn't work because of the power fluctuations. So we instead procured new boards to replace this monitor here.
Board.
The board is like a Promethean board. It's a smart board, so you're able to project and live stream the items that you're discussing, but it also allows you to write on, make notes, so it can be a working
Like how the
tablet.
weathermen do on TV?
Yes.
Okay.
Or Steve Kornacki and how
Yeah,
he makes
correct.
the analysis of the election. Yes. So we attended a open house, and then we went into the market and asked various vendors that offer the type of board we were interested in to quote, and that was awarded. So that was,
So that's in this year's budget.
it was actually in FY 2024.
Okay.
Yes. So we're just waiting for those supplies. They had been ordered with an expected delivery date of around December.
We're going to have a power surge protector this time.
It's already bought. We have what they call automated voltage regulator, AVRs. So we have them in storage right now. Once the boards arrive, then we'll be using the AVRs with the boards.
That'd be fine.
We tried to service this. We inquired. No one on island fixes TVs anymore. So
Just like refrigerators.
yes.
Trash.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how or what we will be able to do with that one. But that one's
But you might be able to get PCA.
sure. Yeah, we'll probably explore that. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So that concludes the draft budget request. Again, I'll take any feedback or suggestions that you might have.
Okay, and when you send it out electronically to the board, can you also provide your explanations like you did for us today? 'Cause
Sure.
that was really helpful.
Okay, of course. Noted. The next item on the agenda, Madam Chair, if I can proceed, is related to the draft logo. So that was included in your commissioner packet. We've been working with our selected vendor that does our marketing and media, and they shared with us a draft. It'll be before that page, Dr. Jack. And then we have this concept of sort of this altered view of the scales of justice, which is hoisted by the Laddie Stone. And then you have the Guam seal at the top. And then you can see how the designer had incorporated some meaning behind the draft logo. I was able to get an advanced suggestion by Commissioner Murphy, which I think is a great suggestion. She had recommended that, based on Guampedia's website, they have local pottery that has designs, and maybe we can incorporate that pottery design on the solid circle that borders. Right, instead of stars, we would have some type of local art that was discovered when they were able to pull out artifacts. So we're
If you go on the Guampedia homepage, you can see some examples, or look up tomorrow pottery design. Right. I'm not sure if it's that list, but anything that says pottery in it, you'll see some. Those are ancient artifacts that are in the Guam Museum, and
Right.
I just think of the stars, because what do stars mean to us, right? Yeah.
Definitely. But if there are any other suggestions, we're open to it. The color scheme is fluid. If you prefer a different set of colors, we just wanted to share with you, yeah, what's our work in progress. Once we have the commission adopt the particular logo, then we'll start working with them to develop the marketing materials, even our like stencils and things like that that we would normally use for memos or transmittals.
And we can use those too for other things. I mean, if we're going to have a campaign.
Yes, yes. We've been holding off on awarding of the honorarium to the agencies because we'd like to incorporate this logo in the honorarium piece. And once we finalize it. Were there any other suggestions maybe that you might have that you wish for us to incorporate? We're open.
Colors, or I do like the dark blue. I don't know much. But also about colors of Guam. You know, I always think about that orangish, brownish, the red dirt kind of color too. I don't know. Maybe they can give us some different samples.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, greens of the jungle and blues in the ocean. Those look great to me at times. Anyone else? Nope. Okay. That was easy. I think a lot about logos because we have to see that for, TV, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. For the stars, what do you think? Yeah. Did you ever see those the ancient tomorrow pottery? Some of them have these beautiful stories on the edges of the pottery. Yeah. Let's see. See what we can come up with. Yeah.
We'll also send notes to the commissioners who weren't able to attend today's meeting in case they might have a chance to review and also provide feedback. But we'll try to incorporate that one recommendation. I think it's great, and then we can probably send an updated logo design. We'll call it version 1, version 2, and then we can make a...
Yeah, and then just ask them to try and submit it in different color schemes and see,
Right.
what you can do it for.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you, commissioners.
Okay, next is the travel request.
Yes. So the two things, the first one is we do have funds available, and as you know, I've been invited to present at this year's COGO conference. So I would like to ask the commissioners' approval for the travel of myself, Pam, and Ruben to attend this year's COGO conference. We do plan to use our general fund appropriation and the amounts indicated on the bar table, rather. And that would be my request, Madam Chair, for approval.
Any questions or objections? Not.
I would approve.
Okay. Anyone else? Approved.
Yeah, same here. I support it.
Yeah. We're excited about your presentation.
Thank you,
You
commissioners.
got it figured out?
I'm glad that someone's excited.
Well, you're not excited.
I'm anxious, but no, it'll be great. It'll be great, and I do appreciate the support by the commission if
You're
we
gonna be
could.
part of a panel, right?
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
So it'll be me and two others. I believe there's the director for San Diego Ethics Commission and then the director for the Detroit Ethics Commission, Meg's hometown.
And the name of the panel is?
Small but mighty. How small organizations succeed and thrive against existential threats. Yes.
It'll be interesting in the next term.
Yes, yes. If I could, and I appreciate the voice vote, but if we could just formalize it with the motion, a second, and then to call for a vote on that.
Okay, I'll motion to approve supporting the
I'll
staff.
second.
Okay, then any objections? No? So
No
moved.
objection.
No objections, okay. So we all agree, passed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The second part of this request is coming from me. I'd like to request the Commission's approval to perform a remote work schedule. The dates for this remote work will be from November 25 to December 6, and then I plan to join you on December 7th at the COGO conference, and then a week from December 12th to December 18th when I return back on island after the conference. And I'd like to formalize that request for Commission approval. Remote work,
remote
to
work,
telework,
okay.
yes.
You're gonna leave on the 25th.
Correct, correct. So we just continued the operations and asking the Commission's consideration to allow me to work remotely.
I move.
Yeah. We'll need a motion just for the record.
Okay, I support it.
Motion to approve. Is it seconded? Any objections? If not, the motion carries. You may do it.
Thank you. And Mr. Chair, Chairman Cruz, I will send you a memo outlining this request, and then if I may just get your digital signature to affirm the Commission's action today. But thank you, Commissioners, for the approval of the travel request and for my work schedule.
Sure, Director. No problem.
The next on the agenda is, as you know, annually we're required to perform a commission board training. And so I just have for you some updates as it relates to procurement as required by statute. The rest of the items we're going to do self-paced and it will be performed outside of the board meeting.
Okay.
But just to share the important updates, there were two new laws related to procurement. The
On
first
Guam
is
or-
on Guam, correct. The first is Public Law 36-37. This is relative to the administrative review of government and Guam critical procurement contract decisions reasonably expected to cost $5 million or more using funds from the American Rescue Plan Act and or the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. And this was authorizing for a unique procurement process, but since the commission doesn't involve or does not anticipate spending funds from either of those two federal programs, it doesn't relate to the commission, but I did want to share that as an update to you. The second is Public Law 37-88, relative to revitalizing the Guam Procurement Advisory Council to modernize procurement in order to promote public confidence and achieve best value and service to our community. This particular public law just references defunct board, and it provided a refresh of the membership of that entity. They're charged with reviewing procurement policy and allowing for any modifications to improve that procurement process government-wide. Those were the two only updates to the procurement law within this past year. The other items, as you see, are just ways that we can improve our performance as board members. So again, this is provided in your meeting link, the drive link, and you can review that information at your leisure. But since there's no change in the dynamic of our membership, we will do this offline self-paced. It will require us to go through it today.
Thank you.
And that concludes the boardsmanship training. If If there are any questions, I'm open to questions now, Madam Chair.
Any questions? Anyone? As I don't hear any, so we need to go into executive session?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So at this time, Madam Chair, if we can request a motion to enter into executive session.
Motion to enter into executive session made. All right. So, anybody object? No? All right.
No, I'll second it if needed.
Okay. All right.
Okay. To the public, the commission is now entering executive session at 1 p.m. Commissioners Meg and Commissioner Chris, we are opening up a break room for you to enter into for executive session discussion. All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. The time now is 1:32, and we're back on regular session. And all members are still in the meeting.
Okay, we're going to adjourn the meeting now. It's 1:32 p.m. A motion to adjourn.
I second.
Okay. All right. Meeting is now adjourned.
Okay, take care, everybody.
Thank you all.